Temporal Sanctum, located in the Ruined Era at the end of the Ruined Coast. To unlock this area, travel to the Shining Cove in the Imperial Era, at the bottom left of the map. Follow the path to the right until you reach a closed door. Unlock the door and take the portal to the Ruined Coast. You will need a Temporal Sanctum key to access the dungeon. Once unlocked, you have the option between 4 tiers of difficulty, of which you have to unlock starting with tier 1. Keep in mind you only get 1 life. If you die, the run is over and you will need another key. The dungeon reward for completing Temporal Sanctum is using the Eternity Cache to create legendary items. I will cover this in more detail later in the video. The dungeon mechanic here is shifting between realms to open pathways that would otherwise be blocked off, as well as shifting between realms to avoid certain attacks when fighting the boss at the end. This new ability is called Temporal Shift, and it is located to the right of your health, just above your potions. Up until the boss, the dungeon mechanic is very straightforward. Make your way towards the edge of the map until you find a door to the next area, using your Temporal Shift along the way to clear blocked pathways. Note that shifting through eras won't always clear the path, forcing you to take a different route. Once you find the door, which is indicated by the marker on your minimap, you may have to use Temporal Shift if the door is not visible in the current era. Every door adds modifiers to your run and will increase the difficulty. There is 2 doors in each area with different modifiers, so if the door you find doesn't have the modifiers you want, you can search for the other door. What you choose here is personal preference, so just take whichever modifier suits your needs. Eventually, you will find the door leading to the boss, Chronomancer Jolra, so let's only cover the 6 attacks you should worry about. She starts the fight by casting a platform-wide AoE that spawns runes until they make a full circle. Once complete, it explodes, dealing a huge amount of void damage and applying stacks of doom. You need to avoid this attack. Simply use Temporal Shift to switch eras before the runes make a full circle, avoiding all of the damage completely. When shifting to another era, she will follow you, and when she does, you will get an AoE that drops at your feet, dealing void damage over time. All you need to do is run to the edges of the platform as soon as you shift eras until you see the void pool drop to avoid taking damage. The pools will despawn after a couple minutes, so as long as you bring them to the edge, this fight will be much easier. She will also spawn 3 pillars as well as a fountain that heals her. When inside the Ruined Era, they will be immune to damage and the pillars cast lightning bolts at you. Shift over to the Divine Era where you can damage and destroy the pillars. Jolra's core skill is spawning 4 void beams that rotate clockwise with gaps in between. Simply stand in the gaps and walk around in a circle to easily avoid the following attacks that she throws at you. A cone-shaped cold AoE which will slow you, making it difficult to dodge attacks. And up to 3 back-to-back lightning strike AoE attacks, with each one being a much larger radius and doing a lot more damage. The rest of her abilities, which I didn't cover in detail, can more or less be tanked and ignored. So as long as you know how to manage the mechanics I've explained, you will dismantle this boss easily. Jolra currently has 4 dedicated uniques for each tier of difficulty. Tier 1 is Jolra's Star Dial, Tier 2 is Somnia, Tier 3 Jolra's Obsession, and Tier 4 Vessel of Strife. After defeating the boss, your reward is using 1 use of the Eternity Cache. Keep in mind you need to shift to the Divine Era to craft a legendary with the cache, and shift to the Ruined Era to claim your new legendary. You can craft a legendary item with this by using any unique that has legendary potential, ranging from 1 to 4. This also requires an exalted item of the same type. For example, a unique 2-handed mace requires an exalted 2-handed mace. Random affixes from the exalted item will be applied to the unique, depending on the legendary potential. So 2 legendary potential would take 2 random affixes from the exalted item. Each of the dungeon tiers has a maximum level for the unique you want to craft. What this means is, if you want to craft this level 80 Leviathan Carver into a legendary, you need to run the tier 4 difficulty. because tier 3 would only allow crafting on a unique up to level 75. I will put the tiers and the max level of craftable uniques for each tier on the screen for you to look at. But hey, if you're thinking about running the other dungeons in Last Epoch, check out my guides on those as well, so you can confidently complete any dungeon without dying and wasting those precious keys. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for more Last Epoch videos. I'm Manarith, and I'll be back. Peace.